Hello, so we'll move further with the next part of our chapter, that's movement in animals. Now we'll see the different parts of the skeleton. Now the skeleton, its structure and function. There are different parts in the skeleton which protects. We have already seen the function of skeleton, that it protects the internal delicate organs which are present and which needs to be protected from outer shocks that we mostly get due to accidents or even while we are walking. So the first organ or the first skeletal part that we are going to talk about is the skull. But before moving on to that, we'll just see that a skeleton has a particular structure and function. It forms the frame for our body and it makes up about 1/5 of our body weight. It is made up of 206 bones. It includes cartilage, joints and ligaments, which plays a major role for the movement of our organs and for the movement of the whole body. The skeleton is the anchor and the support for all the muscles and even for the organs. The skeleton protects us, protects the vital organs, as we have already seen, that are the spinal cord, heart, lung and brain. The skeleton also allows the body to move along with the muscles which are attached to it, and which makes us actively move from one place to another. And even we have seen that there are new blood cells which are being produced inside the skeleton. So these are the major functions that are being carried out by our skeletal system. So now we'll move further to see the parts of skeleton in detail. We'll just see the diagram where all the parts are being labeled. Skull, the skull, which we are going to discuss in detail afterwards, but it's a fixed joint. There are joints in the skull, but they are immovable joints. Okay, so when we'll talk about joints, we'll discuss about the two types of joints in it. Then we have a joint present in shoulders, the ball and socket joint. Then we have the bones in our arms and limbs. So all these different kinds of bones which are situated at different locations, we are going to talk about them in detail. So first we'll move on with our first part, that is skull. It's a part of skeleton which enclose head, and head is being the brain is being protected inside the skull, and it supports many of the other sense organs. You all know that brain is known as the CPU. Yes, it acts like a CPU. Whatever the messages are being sent to brain, the brain takes the decision, and then that is being followed by all our body organs. So it's a decision maker, and therefore we need to protect it. So this protection is being provided by the skull. It forms passage for entry to respiratory and digestive system. So these all are the functions that have been carried out by skull. And as we all know, all the bones in the skull are fixed except the lower jaw which we have. Jaw is the part, okay, you all know, you can see in the diagram given in your textbook also, figure 4.11, in which you can see the upper jaw and the lower jaw. So the lower jaw is the movable jaw which we can move. We use it when we are chewing our food, when we are eating, even when we are talking, we move the lower jaw. So this is the only joint which can be moved, which is present in the whole skull. Rest all the part is immovable. Then we will look for the next is the rib cage. Now rib cage is a set of bone that encloses the heart and lungs. As we have already seen that these all skeletal organs are to protect the internal organs which are delicate and which needs protection. So rib cage is a set of bone that protects the heart and lungs, which are delicate organs present inside and which are present in the front part of our body below the neck. It is made up of small strips of bone called as ribs, and there is a long bone at the center of the chest which is known as sternum. All the ribs which we were talking about, the 12 ribs which we are talking about, they all are attached to the sternum. Sternum is the long bone which is present in the center of the rib cage. It holds all the ribs in place in front, and they are being attached to the backbone. The two last pair of the ribs which are present out of the 12 pairs, they are not attached to the sternum, and therefore they are known as floating ribs. These movement of the rib cage helps in breathing process. When we breathe, they help us in the movement. So rib cage protects the heart and lungs from any injury. So this all is the function that's been carried out by the rib cage. We'll study more about it. The different ribs have different names, so that all we are going to study in our further classes. But for now, we just need to know what are the vital or the major functions of rib cage. Then we will move further with the vertebral column or the backbone. It is made up of smaller bones called as vertebrae, which are arranged in a chain pattern. Okay, you can see in the diagram that it's been arranged in a chain pattern, and all the vertebrae are attached with each other, and they form a backbone, also known as vertebral column. They are normally 33. The vertebrae are 33 in number. Bending would not have been possible, yes or no? Bending would not have been possible if we didn't had a backbone, and it is a single long bone which is being made up of the 33 vertebrae which are present. All of them are attached with, and below that, from these all vertebrae, the spinal cord passes, which is again a delicate organ and which needs protection. All the messages that are being passed forward to the brain, that is due to the help of spinal cord. So that needs a protection, and the vertebral column provides the protection to the spinal cord. Then the backbone, it also gives support to the body. So these all are the functions that are being carried out by vertebral column. Now in the slide you can see that it is also known as the pillar of the body because it supports the skull, the pectoral girdle, upper limbs, and the thoracic cage. Thoracic cage is the rib cage which we have seen. Pectoral girdle, we'll talk about it in the coming slide. Then upper limbs are the hands. Okay, so it provides the support to all these parts. And the names which have been given, like as I've told you, there are 33 vertebrae. They have been divided, they have a certain name, but we are not going to talk in detail about it in class 6th. As we move further in the slide, the names have been given, but you need not to remember it at this time. You will come forward with it in the coming classes. Okay, so next we will move to the bones of the upper limb and the lower limb. Now upper limb is the hands that we are going to talk about. The arm is formed by a single bone which is known as humerus. Okay, this is it makes up and it's been joined with the wrist, hand, and fingers. The upper arm, the long upper arm bone, is called as humerus. Likewise, all these bones have special names and they help us in gripping, holding, and for writing work. So you will learn about it in the higher classes. Then we have the bones of the lower limb, which you can see in the adjacent picture. The leg has a large bone above the knee known as femur and two bones below it. So they are smaller bones in the ankle, foot, and toes. So the thigh bone is known as femur, and the lower leg has two bones which is known as tibia and fibula. So these are the three bones which make up our lower limbs. So we are not going to talk much about it. We just need to know the names of the upper limbs and the lower limbs. Then we have the shoulder girdle. Now what is this shoulder girdle? It is also known as pectoral girdle, as we have seen in the earlier slide. Okay, that the vertebral column supports shoulder girdle. So this is the ones which we were talking about. So it consists of shoulder bone which is present, and even the collarbone which we have. Okay, you can see in the figure that's been shown, the bones which are being shown in yellow color, it's been highlighted with yellow color, they are the collarbones and the shoulder girdle. So they hold the rib cage on its place, and the collarbone which we are talking about, it is a very delicate bone. If it is being harmed, the whole body gets damaged, or you can say if accidentally it happens, then the shape of the body is being damaged. So this is how the pectoral girdle forms a support to other bones of the arm, and even it's a delicate bone. The collarbone is also known as clavicle, and the shoulder bone, the other name for it is scapula. Then we'll move on to the next, that is the hip girdle. Now hip girdle is also known as pelvic girdle, which is present in hips. Okay, it consists of hip bones. The pelvic girdle supports the bones of the legs. Whatever bones of the legs we have seen, that is the tibia, fibula and femur, that are being attached with the hip girdle or the pelvic girdle, and it gives support and makes us stand erect on our legs. So this is all the function of the pelvic girdle. Then the next slide we'll talk in our next part.